Okay, so I will explain you formula how to move correctly. This is applies to every movement in rumba, in cha-cha, some movements in samba, but the whole idea, if you understand the system, will be much easier. So always, whenever we move, we always have to go like this. Rib cage will go first, the leg will go second, and the hip will go third. So let's say if we are in this position, our body weight is on the left leg, we want to go to the right leg. So we have a rib cage go first, so feeling like we're falling, then leg, then we're going to the hip. Now collect leg, just for exercise. So let's say we want to go to the left, rib cage going first, then leg, and only then moving with the hip. So you would never want to go with the leg first. You would never want to go with the hip first. You will always want to go with the rib cage first. But remember, after the rib cage is never hip. So rib cage is we call upper body, leg as a lower body, hip as a middle body. So we go upper body first, then the lower body, then the middle. So it's going 1, 2, then 3. And so rib cage, leg, and then hip. So that's the secret formula of movement. Rib cage, leg, then hip. So one more time. So this will be number 1 is your rib cage, leg is number 2, and the hip is number 3. Why to move this way? Because if you move with a rib cage, you will always get this momentum, like you're always almost falling. So the leg have this natural acceleration. And also, once the leg arrive, you have here a room for the hip to continue. So then dance become very, very fluid. Why, let's say, movement like a repulse, if somebody do ripple, look very good because it has specific order. Like, let's say, when you do ripple, you have a chest, then hip, then leg. So it has very clear order. That's why it looks very flexible. But of course, when you dance, you cannot do like a ripple. You have to use a little bit different formula. So rib cage first, hip second, leg second, then hip. So go rib, leg, then hip. Now collect, rib, leg, then hip. So side and forward is exactly the same. The same. Backward is also the same formula, but it's just different size use. I will explain in a second. So let's stay here. Let's say forward. We want to move forward. So we always start with the rib cage forward. So you see already our body takes forward. Then we land with the leg. So now my rib cage forward, my leg is forward, and then we continue with the hip. Now there is a little bit secret. As whenever you start moving body part, let's say if I start moving my rib cage forward, it's keep moving forward all the time. So it goes 1, 2, 3. But if you activated your rib cage, it's constantly will move forward until you change to the other side. So now we talk about the right side. Of course, you have a left side. So rib cage start, and it will never stop. Rib cage, then leg. So now at this moment, rib cage keep moving forward and leg arrive. So rib cage never, once you start, it's always move. And as rib cage move forward, then we do only hip. That's very important. From here, we activate other side. Left rib cage, leg, then hip. Rib cage, leg, hip, rib cage, leg, then hip. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, when you move backward, it's the same formula, but a little bit different way, different direction. So if I move backward, I always do rib cage forward, then leg, and only then move my hip. But remember what I told you, if I move my rib cage forward, I have to keep moving it forward. I would never move it back for Ramba, Cha-Cha, and Samba. Rib cage, leg, and then only you move your hip. That's how you transfer weight. Now, if I want to move my left leg back, I have a rib cage first, I activate rib cage forward. Never just activate legs only. Always start with upper body. Rib cage, then leg. So leg has to do this 90-degree brushing, get here, but no hip action. And only then hip. Rib cage, leg, hip. Rib cage, leg, hip, rib cage, leg, hip. So we can break down every movement in Cha-Cha and Rumba to this formula to get more fluidity, more musicality. Let's say if you have a basic Rumba walk, so stay like this, you have basic run. So I will start rib cage, And because leg is already here, we're gonna do hip. Rib cage, hip. Rib cage, hip. So never start with the hip. Rib cage, hip. Very good. Now other side. Rib cage, then we have a leg, hip. Now we're moving backwards. So the rib cage activate forward, then leg, then hip. Now I want to move side. Rib cage, leg, then my hip. Now I want to move backward again. So I have my rib cage, leg, then hip. I want to move forward, rib cage, leg, hip. Even if you connect in the way I show you, it's going to look very, very flexible. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. That's how I have in the music always have actions, because I'm constantly have a rib cage forward, then hip, then leg. This formula. Cha-cha-chas will be exactly the same. Samba has its differences as well. If you're in situation when your legs already arrive, it's going to be only rib cage, then hip. Rib cage, then hip. If you have a situation when you need to take a steps, rib cage, leg, hip. Rib cage, leg, hip. Yes? Understand the idea, Anna?
Yeah.
Okay, secret formula how to move. So most important, you have to figure out what moves first, what moves second, what moves third. So let's look at our body. We have upper body, rib cage and chest. We have middle body, your hips. We have our legs and feet. So upper, middle, lower body. So what's for cha-cha-ramba? Always you're gonna do like this. Your upper body will move first, your leg will move second, and hip third. So when I see people dance competitions, it's a little bit either legs moving, hips, or upper body, but it's not organized. So let's do this. Upper body first, so your rib cage first, then the leg arrive, then the hip continues. So upper body, leg, then hip. Upper body, leg, hip. So let's say if we do a simple rumba walk, we have to everything to make follow this simple formula. Let's say moving side, if in this case my right side, rib cage will go first, leg will go second, hip will go third. So my working side has to help all of that to happen. So more I turn my hip, more I can have a rib cage forward here. So rib cage forward, and that's immediately activate my leg. You see, go rib cage, leg, never leg first. Rib cage, leg, and then now you have a room for the hip to continue movement. So it's become more like an echo, and you look very, very flexible. Now for the other leg, you have, if you want to put left leg forward, so you have upper body, leg, um, rib cage, leg, then hip, and quick, slow. So let's break down every movement with this formula. Let's say you have in your routine this type of motion. So the same here. Do your upper body first, which is your rib cage, leg, then you see how much hip you have here. Have a lot of room for the hip. Upper body, leg is already there, hip. If we do cha-cha, lock step, for example, you have upper body, leg, then hip. Upper body, leg, then hip. Rib cage, leg, hip. Rib cage on the other side, leg, hip. So when you do it a little bit faster, you would always have incredible flexibility rather than moving just legs or moving hips or moving upper body. So it's very important to organize. Go through all your routine and make sure you do upper body first, leg second, hip second. Now, for cha-cha-ramba is the same. Now, let's say if you're doing samba, the order will be slightly different. You would have to do hip first, then upper body, then leg. So you call it like ripple effect. So hip first, so hip going first, upper body, then leg. Hip, upper body, leg. Hip, upper body, leg. So that's very character for the samba. So the formula is for the samba. Hip first, upper body, leg. Hip, upper body, leg. Hip, upper body, leg. When you move, one, ta ta. So you go hip, upper body, leg. Now For passo doble, let's say, if we look in passo, we have a hip going first, then upper body moving second, but backward. So hip first, upper body backward, then leg. Hip forward, upper body back, then leg. So we can say hip, then leg. Hip, then leg.